Joining us now, Circa News' Sara Carter, from The Hill, John Solomon, attorney Victoria Toensing. She's representing that FBI informant at the center of this latest Clinton Foundation scandal. I'll start with you, Victoria. This is your client. He wanted to tell Congress about all of the bribery, all of the scheming, all of the kickbacks, all of the corruption. He had the information. He wanted to tell a story. What happened?
Well, when he started working for the FBI in 2009, they had him sign what's called an NDA, a non-disclosure agreement. They never gave him a copy of it. And when he went public in 2016, way after all this case stuff was done, the Justice Department under Loretta Lynch called him and threatened him with his freedom if he violated the NDA. Now, I've never heard of an NDA that had a criminal penalty for violation, but they won't show him a copy of it. So we decided to go to the members of Congress and the Senate, and I have breaking news for you, Sean. While I was in makeup, I got a letter from Chairman Grassley asking my client to give them information. Now, what this does is set up a constitutional issue, because the executive branch cannot say to someone, don't you give information to the legislature. So it'll be a very interesting thing to see how the Justice Department responds.
So they have the power to lift that NDA. That would be amazing. So we've got, Sara, bribery, kickbacks, extortion, money laundering, and Vladimir Putin gets 20% of our uranium. All this money gets kicked back. I'm always a big believer, follow the money. Vladimir Putin was up to his eyeballs infiltrating. This is a real national security issue. Getting our uranium, it was his goal.
Absolutely. Absolutely, Sean. It was a counterintelligence investigation to begin with. That's what my sources are saying now. This started out as a counterintelligence investigation, and what happened was, you know, the Russians, the United States had known that the Russians wanted to get by the disarmament process. They wanted to penetrate the American markets so then they could have Russian dependency, so people would be dependent on Russia. And that's what they were doing all along. And this is how they did it. They reached out to people that they knew would help them move legislation through, move the process through quickly. And apparently they found it, especially here in the United States. And, you know, we don't want to jump the gun here. We know this is ongoing and the Senate is now investigating this. But there was a large number of kickbacks and bribes and schemes that we still haven't uncovered yet.
John, you broke this forward. This is important about the informant. And if Grassley is going, the Senator Grassley is going to allow this informant to talk in the Justice Department, who would have to sign off specifically? So Victoria is being a great attorney, and I've known her for many years, and I'd hire her myself in a second. Who would have to sign off on this? It would have to be the Justice Department, right?
It would be, though the FBI might have a say, too, because they would be concerned about what information, methods, and sources might be divulged by him. So I think it's going to be a two-tiered review, the FBI first and the Justice Department second.
Where did the money come from? Because you talk about money laundering. Where did the money that got into the Clinton Foundation come from?
Well, we don't know that yet. I think we have to find that out. We do know that the money for the kickbacks came from the form of the contract. So the Russian company would pay a contractor in the United States, and the contractor then would kick that money back to enrich Vladimir Putin's buddies back in Russia. That is what's been established in the court case. Where the money came from for the Clinton Foundation, we don't know, except what's in the public records. We know a bank interested in the deal gave Bill Clinton $500,000 speech fee. We know other people interested in the deal donated millions of dollars over the years.
Is it possible, though? This is a real Russia collusion, influence, peddling, bribery, extortion, kickback scam now. Now the question is, who needs to get on this? Victoria, last word.
Well, I think Bob Mueller needs to get off of it.
Good point.
I can't imagine that he doesn't have a conflict.
Well, good, very good point. All right. Any breaking news tomorrow, guys? Sara, John?
Stay tuned. Stay tuned. There's more to come down the pike, I'm sure.
All right. I know what stay tuned means in your world. Thank you.